Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel You Develop Code, and today we are going to make Tic Tac Toe game. If you guys don't know what is Tic Tac Toe game, then I'll show you that. I'll show you some images of the Tic Tac Toe game. So this is the Tic Tac Toe game. You have to put cross and zero, and accordingly you have to make continuous cross or either zero. So this is Tic Tac Toe game that we are going to make today, and that too using the React TypeScript. So let's create one template using React TypeScript. For that, we are going to make one command that is npx create React app, and I'll put one project name. So I'll give something tic tac toe TypeScript because it is going to be in the TypeScript, and template, and it is in TypeScript. So we need to mention this because we are not going to use JavaScript. That is a JSX actually. So let's run this command. So now you can see it here that we can start the server using npm start here, and our template has already made. I'll go through this one after some while, but before that, let's start the server first. And let's see how it's going to look in the browser. Okay, it has some issue, it's not working. Let me see that. The issue is that we are running this npm start command not under the tic tac toe TypeScript, but before that one. So we need to go through this using cd tic tac toe TypeScript. Now we are under our folder, and here we can run the command to start the server, that is npm start, and our server has already started in local 3000. You can see it here. So we'll start doing the development for the tic tac toe game. Before I will start coding for tic tac toe game, let's understand some idea behind the tic tac toe game. So I'm making one diagram to make you understand better. This is our board, and now I'm making some small squares. So this is first square, this is second square, and now I will make third square. So this is how something it looks like. We have 9 squares at least. So now our square is ready. Now I will give the IDs to each one of them. This is 0, this is 1, 2, 3, this is 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now let's understand using this diagram that how are we going to code. So first of all, we required this board, and then we required these 9 square in our board, and whenever we are going to click on any of these square buttons, so it must get turned into X or 0 values. So let's start coding now. So first of all, I'm going to remove all these header code from the app.tsx. So you can see only the UW code in the browser. Now I will make one component folder under the src, and under the components folder, I'm going to make one file as tictactoe.tsx. I'll make one component here, and I will print something here in this component. Now I'm importing this tic-tac-toe component here in this app.tsx. Let me print something in this tic-tac-toe file. So here you can see that this file is perfectly imported. So as I explained you earlier through this diagram, that first we need board And then we need square buttons under this board. So for that, I'm going to make one more files. So first file will be board.tsx, and the second file under the component will be square button.tsx. So let's make component for these file. So basically, these square buttons are buttons. So for that, under this square button, we need to make one button. So instead of div, I'm going to make it this div as button. Its type will be button only, and we are going to write some static data right now here, like x. And under this board, what we need to do is we need to import these square buttons in this board. Like here, under this board, we have these square buttons. So what are the sequence? First, we need these three, then these three, and then these one. So for that, I'm going to make one div. Under this div, I'm going to import these square buttons. So let's see in the browser. Okay, so we need to import this board file under this Tic Tac Toe. So you can see these three buttons now. Now we need three more buttons below that. So here we got three more buttons and similarly three more buttons. So here we got a three buttons, basically a whole board of tic tac toe. But right now we are putting only the static value. So this value should be by default empty. And whenever we are going to click on these buttons, its value should get changed to X or zero values. So that functionality we need to implement. We need to provide the onClick function for the square buttons so that whenever we are going to click on any of its square button, its value should get changed to X or 0. And in this diagram, we can easily see that each of its square buttons has the different and unique IDs, that 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Similarly, we need to provide the each unique ID to its square button. So for that, I need to make one cat arrow function. I'm going to provide the name as handle click, and I will pass this handle click function as a prop to this board component. Through this board component, I need to provide the prop to the square button. In this TCX, as we know, we need to provide the type for the whenever we are passing the props. So I need to provide the props. So I'm going to name it as board props. Let's make it interface instead. Okay, we are passing the handle click function as a on click. So here also it is going to be the on click, and it is we are getting this from the board props. We need to define the type of this on click function. So it is going to be void. But in this on click function, I'm going to console the indexes. So I will provide the index here, and index is number. Similarly, I'm going to provide this on click function here. We are going to make one callback function for the square buttons. And in this, we are going to provide unique ID for each one of them. This first square button is 0. So this is going to be 1. This is going to be 2, 3, 4. This is 5. This is 6, 7, and 8. Now we are going to pass this onClick function to the square button. So here I'm going to pass this onClick function to this button type, and we need to define the type of its onClick function. So I'm going to name it as square props, and this function is going to be the void type. And we are getting this onClick function from square props that we need to define it here. So let's see. And I've already console the value, as you can check here in Tic Tac Toe component. Okay, I didn't actually. We are going to provide index and its type is number. So I'm going to console the value for this indexes. Let me click on these square buttons and see whether we are getting the indexes of each square button or not. So first I'm going to click on first square button. So we are getting the index 0. First, this one we are getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so we are getting the indexes correctly. Moving on further, we need to change the values on the click of these buttons. And moreover, by default, all the values should be empty. So for that, we need to make one use state to store all the values. We'll make one variable as value. We are going to update this variable in set value, and by default, use state value, that is the initial value, will be null, and we are going to store that in array, and it will be an array of 9 squares. So we are going to fill these 9 squares with null value. And now we need to pass this value into the square button. So firstly, we are going to pass it to board. And now we are supposed to pass it here in board. And we need to pass these value in all these square buttons. But first of all, we need to define its type. So value type is going to be string type, and we are going to store that in array. So it will be empty array. And now we'll provide the value here. So we need to provide that this is value of first index. Similarly, this square button is the value of second one. Similarly, the rest. We need to provide the indexes for all the values, so that it will be easier for us to pick any of these square buttons and change the value of that one. So this is 5. This is 6. Okay, I think there's something wrong. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we missed this one. This is 5 actually. 6, 7, and this one is 8. Similarly, we need to pass this value here in square props. Its type is going to be string type. We need to define it here. We have already defined its type. Okay, now we need to make the logic. So we are going to write all the logics in tictactoo.tcx. We have already consoled the value of indexes and we are getting it perfectly fine. So for now, I'm going to remove this index. We are going to make one const to update the value. So we are going to destructure this array. So this is how we are going to destructure the array. Moreover, we actually need to make one more use state in which we need to define the current player. So we make one variable as current player, set current player and use state, and we are going to give the initial value of current player as X. So by default, always the X will be starting the game. So now in this update value, we are going to give the index and it is going to be equal of current player. Now I'm going to set the value. So it is going to be the updated value. And now we'll set the current player as well. So whenever current player is equal to suppose X, so next value will get changed to O or instead X only. So let's see this much in the browser, what we are getting. I'm going to console this value here. Okay, so by default, all the values are null. Right now, we haven't put any CSS here, so you cannot see these buttons properly. So I'm going to provide width and height to these buttons as well. So width is going to be 100 pixel and height also I'm going to provide as 100 pixel. Okay, so now it is visible and I'll click on this variable. So we can see its value is getting changed to X. Still, there are some CSS issue that we still need to fix, but let's check the functionality is working fine or not. Now I'm going to click on another square button. So here it's getting 0. You can see the values here as well. Earlier it was null and now it's getting changed to X or 0. Similarly, it's getting like this. And we can actually put the values in each square buttons. But we need to make some more logic that right now we can see once we have actually make the continuous pair of any X or 0, then the game should stop and show us the win that we have actually won the game. But it's not happening like this. And one more thing I'll notice, if I click on any of this button, it's getting changed. So once I click on any button, the value should not get changed. So this is one of the feature that still I need to fix. So let's see that how we are going to fix that one. Now I'm going to write the when logic. So for that, we must know that in which indexes we are going to get the when logic. As we know, if 0, 1, 2, 3, here it will get continuous X or 0, then it means that it is a win case. Similarly, 258 is also win case, 678 is also a win case, and 036 is also a win case. And in diagonal, 642 and 048 are the win cases. So we need to make the logic and provide the indexes for the win logic. So for that, I'm going to make one const for check winner. It is going to be the fat arrow function under which I'm going to make one win index variable. It is going to be the array. And in this array, I'm going to store all the indexes. So like 0, 1, 2, 2, 5, 8, and these all indexes of the when cases. 3, 4, 5. Next is 6, 7, 8, 0, 3, 6, 1, 4, 7, 2, 5, 8, 0, 4, 8, and 2, 4, 6. These are the bin indexes. Now I'm going to loop over this bin indexes. So let initial value as 0, and it is going to go till this bin indexes dot length, and we are going to increase the value here. Let's suppose 0, 1, 2, and similarly these all as const A, B, and C. And if it is equal to bin indexes I, so if value A is equal to value B, and if value A is equal to value C, then we are going to return value A. Otherwise, we will return null. We have written the function for the check winner, but we need to display the winner as well. That any variable should display that yes, we have won the game. So for that, I'm going to make one variable as winner, and I'm going to set the value in set winner. And by default, initial value will be null. Now, whenever we just won the game, it should immediately show that yes, we have won the game. So that I'm going to provide my rest logic in use effect. Under the use effect, I'm going to call this check winner function in a new variable, that is const new winner. So I've called the function here. Now, if this function is called, then we must set the winner as the new winner. That we must display something in the browser that yes, we have won the game. So for that, I'm actually going to write some logic here in this JSX as well, that if I won the game, I need to show that in the browser winner. Otherwise, it must show the current player name. So we'll take the current variable current player as here. We have already written the logic for the winner, but as we know, there's one more case in which if neither X or not 0, 1, then this is a draw match. So for that also we need to make one logic. So I'm going to make one const for is draw match, and I'm going to update its value and set is draw match. Initial value is going to be the false. So if let's make one condition that is both full is going to be one function in which I'm going to write the draw match logic. It returns that return value dot every square if it's not equal to null. So if this function is called here in the else if condition, then we are going to change its value from false to true. And moreover, we need to display that in the browser as well. So if is draw match, then we are going to display draw match. Otherwise, we are going to show the current player only. Here in this winner case, we are only showing the winner, but moreover, we can also show the winner name that who exactly won the game. That is, winner is X or Y, sorry, X or 0. So we are storing it here in this variable, so I passed it here. Now there was one more issue that if we were actually, okay, I'll show you here. If we were just clicking over this value, so its value were getting changed. So that also we need to fix. For that, I can make one condition that if value of any index is equal to null, or if it's not winner, or if it's not draw match, then we are going to do these changes. Okay, so this is the function. So we need to write here as function. And it's an extra syntax error here. So we fix that one. Now let's see in the browser. And if I am going to change its value, now its value is not getting changed. I mean, it's perfectly working fine. We can every time see the next player name. So if I won the game means X won the game. So we can show the winner name as well. Now I'm going to show you one draw match as well. So if here I'll put one X, here 0, here X, here 1 0, X, and here 1 0, X, 0, and X. So basically it's a draw match. Nobody won, neither X nor 0. So by default here you can see the first player is going to be X always. But suppose if somebody wants to play as a 0, so in that case we can make one button as X and the second button as 0. Here I'm going to provide the type as button to both of them. And let's give the onClick function to each button. It is going to be the handle X and this is going to be the handle 0. Let's create one fat arrow function for each one of them. Similarly, let's create the fat arrow function for this one and set the current player in handle X as X in string and in handle 0 as 0 in string. You can see these buttons here, X and 0. I'll make one div here and I'm going to wrap these two buttons inside this div. And I'm going to give one heading to as select player so that it will be easier to any user to understand that what are we doing. So we can select any player. So by default, it's always X. If I'll click on 0, it is going to be 0. And the first player is going to be 0 now, not X. So this functionality is done. We can also reset the game or you can say start a new game. So for that also we need to make one button as start new game. Button type is going to be button. On click function, so I'm going to provide the name as handle new game. And I'll create one fat arrow function for this handle new game. So in this function, I'm going to make all the values as null. So firstly, the set value, I'm going to make it as null. So let's provide its initial value inside the set value. And set winner is also going to be null here because we will be starting the new game. Similarly, this draw match state is also not required, so it is going to be false. So this is a button for start new game. Let's create one break here to make it more understand for you. If I started my game already and now I don't want to continue, so I can click on the start new game and yes, we can start a new game now. If you like my videos, please like, comment, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.